Hello everyone, welcome to Standard 5 Mathematics class. We are doing the chapter of fractions and this is the second video. Today we are going to learn for converting the improper fractions into the mixed fractions. Now if you remember, the improper fractions are the fractions with the numerator bigger than the denominator. And mixed fractions are the fractions where we have a whole number along with a proper fraction together. So I have an example in front of you. The example has the number 5 upon 2. Now let us not go with QR upon D. I'll first explain it. And 5 upon 2 means basically that 5 is divided by 2. If I divide 5 by 2, 2 into 2 gives me 4 and I am left with 1 as the remainder. So this is my Q and this is R and this is D. Now Q, R upon D just move clockwise and Q is written as a whole number, R is written as the numerator and D, that is divisor, becomes the denominator. So this is how we convert an improper fraction into a mixed fraction. Now the next topic that we have here is conversion of mixed fractions into an improper one. Now we will have a mixed fraction here, that is 2 by 3. And how are we going to do is, basically we have a multiplication sign here and a plus sign here. 2 multiplied by 3 plus 2 upon 3, that is the denominator of the proper fraction. When this is done, we first multiply the two numbers, that is 2 and 3, and then we add this 2 into it. 2 into 3 is 6 plus 2 is 8 divided up by 3. So we get the fraction as 8 upon 3. So basically we multiply the whole number with the denominator of the proper fraction and then we add the numerator to it and the whole is divided by the denominator of the proper fraction that we had in the mixed fraction. Once the calculations are done, we get the improper fraction, that is the result. Moving on to the My Practice Time 1, question number 3, it states that express the following mixed fractions as improper fractions. So we have the mixed fraction as 6, 3 upon 4. As you know that we have to multiply the whole number with the denominator and then add the numerator to it. So we add it and do it. 6 into 4 plus 3 upon 2. When you multiply 6 and 4, you get 24. 24 plus 3, you get 27. So 27 upon 4 is the answer of this question. Another one you have on your screen, 6, 2 by 3. So 6 into 3 plus 2 upon 3. 6 into 3 plus 2 upon 3 is 20 upon 3. Now there is another question on the screen. Express the following improper fractions as mixed numbers. So here we have the improper fraction as 14 upon 3. So to get this mixed fraction, what are we going to do? We are going to divide 14 by 3. When you divide 14 by 3, a number multiplied by 3 that gives me a result less than or equal to 14 is 4. 3 into 4 gives me 12. I get 12. And when I do the subtraction, I get 2 as the remainder. So Q R upon D is what we have just learned. So 4 becomes the whole number. This 2 becomes the numerator and this 3 becomes the denominator. So this is how we get the mixed fraction from this question. Looking at the next question, 120 upon 11, the same is the procedure that we follow here. Now 120 when divided by 11, 11 into 1 gives me 11. Subtract it and I get a 1 as the remainder here and I bring a 0 down. This 10 is not divisible, but children, don't forget that 11 into 0 will give you a 0 here, and then when you do the subtraction you get 10 as the remainder. So 10 upon 11 is the mixed fraction that you get here. Alright, moving on to the next fractions, we have a new name called the equivalent fraction. The name itself suggests that something related to equal is going to be there. So the equivalent fractions are the fractions that represent the same part of a whole. So they are known as equal fractions or maybe equivalent fractions. For example, half, 2 upon 3, 3 upon 6, and another 4 upon 8 are equivalent fractions. See here, in the first figure that you see, this one, this is known as 1 by 2. What 1 represents the orange color and 2 represents the total number of colors. That is total parts. So if we say that I have chosen one part out of the two parts, in this second case, I have made them into a 4 parts, but I have chosen 2 parts out of those 4 parts. In the third case, I have broken down the circle into 6 parts, out of which I have chosen 3 parts. And in the fourth one, I have made it into 8 parts, equal parts, and I have chosen 4 parts out of them. And as you can see in the figures, all the 4 figures are same. The parts of the figures are more or less, but the color, that is orange, is same in all the figures. So from this we conclude that 1 by 2 is equal to 2 upon 4 is equal to 3 upon 6 is equal to 4 upon 8. That means these all are equivalent fractions. Moving on to the next topic, that is reduce fractions to the lowest terms. Now you well understand it with an example. A fraction in its lowest term means a fraction is said to be in its lowest term if both the numerator and the denominator have only 1 as their common factor. That means there is no other common factor between those two numbers. For example, 36 upon 54. If you know the HCF, then you have to find the HCF over here of 36 and 54 and divide the two numbers in the numerator as well as in the denominator by the same number, and then we get the reduced fraction. So here the HCF is 18 for 36 and 54. When we divide 36 and 54 by 18, we get 2 upon 3 as the fraction. And this fraction has 1 as the common factor. 2 doesn't have any other factor common with 3 rather than 1. So we say that this fraction is in its lowest term. Moving on to the question related to this, find 3 equivalent fractions of the following. 3 upon 4 is the number here that we have. And the fractions, how we make the equivalent fractions? The numerator and the denominator, when multiplied with the same number, we get the equivalent fractions. So 3 upon 4 is multiplied by 2 in the numerator as well as in the denominator, and we get 6 upon 8. 3 by 4 is multiplied by 3 and 3 in the numerator as well as in the denominator, and we get 9 upon 12. And in the third one, 3 upon 4 is multiplied by 4 in the numerator as well as in the denominator, and we get 12 upon 16. So from here we conclude that 6 upon 8, 9 upon 12 and 12 upon 16 are equivalent fractions. Now let us look at a question of reducing the following fractions to the lowest terms. Here we have 16 upon 24. So 16 upon 24, if you know how to find the HCF of both the numbers is 8. So when we divide the numerator and the denominator by 8, we get 2 upon 3. How 2 upon 3? 16 divided by 8 gives us a 2 and 24 divided by 8 gives us a 3. So from that we conclude that 2 upon 3 is the lowest term as 2 upon 3 has no common factor in them. 2 and 3 have only one common factor, that is 1. So 2 by 3 is the lowest term of 16 by 24. There's another example that we have on a screen, 44 upon 143. Again, to find the HCF, you have to look at the HCF video, which I have shared already. And if you find the HCF of 44 and 143, you will come to know that both are divisible by 11. When once you divide both the numbers by 11, you get 4 upon 13. 44 divided by 11 gives you 4, and 143 divided by 11 gives you 13. So 4 upon 13 do not have any other common factor amongst themselves. So we say that 4 upon 13 is the reduced form or the lowest form of 44 upon 143. There is another example on the screen, that is 100 upon 250. When there is a numerator and a denominator having a 0 at the end, that is the ones place, we can simply cancel that 0. Here we have simply cancelled this 0 and the number reduces to 10 upon 25. And now this 10 upon 25, they both have a common factor, that is 5. So we divide both the numerator and the denominator by the same number and we get 2 upon 5, which is the reduced or the lowest form of 100 upon 250. So now this was the last topic for this video. We'll meet in the next video. Thank you for watching the video. Keep studying, keep practicing. Have a good day. Bye bye.